Thanks for tuning in to Living in Downtown Greenville. We've been teaching you about our fine city and buying real estate here, but today we're going to talk food, wine, drink, everything in between. This is my good friend Stephanie Burnette and my neighbor, and she has wrote the book on Greenville, 100 Things to Do in Greenville, South Carolina, before you die. Emphasis on before you die. So this is your bucket list, so to speak.
Yes, I jokingly sign the book at book signings. Don't die.
Yes, mine says
Dame.
Mine says
Don't die. Because you can't do all 100 things if you're ding dong dead.
If you die before you start the list. But I love it. And if you haven't seen her Instagram profile, you need to follow her on Instagram. Eat, drink, Carolinas. I mean, this is her livelihood. Food and drinks, not just in Greenville, but all over the Southeast. So we are so lucky that you put all of your knowledge in one place for heathens like me who enjoy food and drink. So let's start with how did this come about and how do you narrow it down?
Well, I was asked, which was great. Reedy Press is out of St. Louis, and they reached out and said, we're interviewing potential authors for this book. This is our imprint. We do this all over the U.S., and we'd like to talk to you about Greenvilles. And so it was great. It was about a year and a half ago, and they selected me. And probably the hardest thing was narrowing it down to 100 things. It could have said 1,000 things to do in Greenville, and I would have been like, yep, let's go.
So how do we get, food and drink? I love how you broke the book into sections.
Yes, it is in sections, and because I am a food and travel writer, it's heavily food and drink, and things that, people enjoy coming and visiting Greenville for. But there are different sections. There's a little bit for everybody. I write a lot of articles for magazines, and they're very seasonally driven. What's hot right now? What do you want to do while the weather is nice or chilly or over a holiday? So those are very in the moment articles. Getting to write a book, you get to do something else, which I really enjoy, which was highlight businesses that have that secret sauce. They have figured out who their audience is and how to succeed long term. So this is kind of like a greatest hits. And that was really enjoyable because restaurants and bars that made the book really have, passed the test. These are perennial favorites that we do not expect to close and not be in the book anymore.
And what I love is how you covered your normal everyday bar, right, to Maria's Soda Shop. Right. And then the fancy, because we do have fancy in downtown Greenville when that's what you're in the mood for.
I mean, as a travel writer and as a traveler, you don't just look for date night dining spots. Nobody goes on vacation and eats at an anniversary dinner 5 nights in a row. And increasingly, especially after the pandemic, we've seen a rise in travel where people want to travel like a local. They want to almost try out a town. So, you want to know where the bagel shop is, where the newsstand is, where to get an afternoon coffee, where, which wine shop can you have a glass of wine at? That's what people want to hear about. And so it was so easy to do in Greenville because Greenville is considered very livable.
And what I love about Greenville is it's like this middle big city, but it feels small and connected.
I just read an article for Eater that I said, Greenville, South Carolina may be a small town, but it eats and drinks a lot better. So you described it.
That's right.
I need to watch for my job. So you already know what we're talking about.
No, I think you're great. I've enjoyed the book. The thing that jumps out to me, in this food and drink section, I'm sure people are watching and willing to, because a lot of people that watch our channel are thinking about moving to Greenville. So that's our audience here. And what jumped out at me is your love for the community tap, which is like a local hole in the wall. You won't see it on Main Street downtown, but the locals know about it.
Well, one of the really fun things is that the community tap is number one of the 100 things. And when I told them that, they were so excited. And what I didn't tell them is it's not ranked. There are 100 things and you happen to be number one, but you spin that however you want to. No, but Community Tap is so great. It started off as a bottle shop, not for liquor, but for beer and wine, and then turned into this like third space where the neighborhood hangs out. And you can go to a wine tasting, you can go to a beer tasting, you can just bring your laptop and work. They now sell lots of great local products. They're next door to one of legitimately the best gift stores I've seen in the Southeast called Urban Digs. So it's a really special place. And if anybody follows me, follows the things that I write about, unless an editor's being really nasty, I always talk about parking.
Yes. Parking is huge.
Parking is important. And Greenville has a lot of places that have wonderful parking, and I would say Community Tap is on top of it. So when people talk about like, oh, let's go pop in and get a drink, or let's go pop in and have a snack, you know, a pop-in situation is we can easily park there.
Or walk.
Or golf cart, or push a stroller. So one of the things I think I really love about Greenville is lots of easy parking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just so fun.
And for now, right, downtown on Main Street is free parking if you could find a spot. I think that's also one of the rare things about our.
I think something that's growing right now, though, in Greenville, because I probably visit, I would say 3 to 4 dozen Greenville-sized towns per year on assignment in the Southeast specifically, is that we're starting to see Greenville boroughize. We're starting to see the downtown tourism situation branch out into the neighborhoods. So we're starting to see little city centers in neighborhoods. And I think that's new for Greenville, and I think it's smart. So we're starting to have places like in North Main, there's Community Tap and U-Joint and Bohemian, and now the Black Sheep. And that's starting to feel like our neighborhood city center. But then if we go to historic Overbrook, now we have the brand name Camino Wine Shop across from Fork and Plow, next to Oasis Day Spa. So we're starting to see these hubs of really kind of retail goodness that is independently owned and makes those neighborhoods feel super special. A lot of what you do when you write a book like this, or you're writing a travel article, is you're trying to find a fingerprint. And what we describe as the fingerprint is if 3 months from now, I can still remember a place that I shopped or I ate or I drank or I bought something at, then that neighborhood left a fingerprint on me. So
Absolutely. Again, you want to be remembered and you want to stand out.
And I think independently owned businesses are what often do that for us. If you're walking into a shop that you can walk into in the place that you live, it's so homogenized it doesn't quite feel special anymore. And Greenville, the last statistic I heard, Main Street has over 200 independently owned restaurants.
Wow.
Main Street.
Wow, that's a lot of competition.
It's a lot of competition, but they're also making out.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, there's always something new to try. And I feel like we cover a lot of ground. You know, it's not just like a brewery, or it's not just a burger place or a pizza place.
Oh, can I tell you a funny story?
Please.
Okay, so I moved here from Atlanta in 1998. And downtown was not what it is now. In fact, a lot of downtown had a lot of plywood on its shops and buildings. And I coined this phrase. I used to say, there's not much between Subway and Sobeys. Well, Subway Sandwich Shop was across the street from the Hyatt.
Right.
And about 6 blocks down was our like really first cutie patootie dining restaurant, Sobeys. And the joke was there's not much between Subway and Sobeys. Well, after a while, there was a lot between Subway and Sobeys. So I changed this iteration. Still, there's not much between Subway and Sobeys because we had a lot of sandwich shops, really casual large places, and we had a lot of date night dining places and not much mid-range dining. Well, let's just throw all of that out. We have everything now. There's a ton between Subway and Sobeys.
Absolutely.
And so I can't use my funny little alliterative phrase anymore.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us. What I like is sort of the fast casual concept.
So that's mostly called counter service now. Yeah, they're calling it counter service. So you typically order at a counter and sit down, but it's still brought out to you. Mm-hmm. And counter service kind of bridged the gap between fast food and full service dining and really occurred around 2018 across the Southeast. We're seeing a lot of great concepts in the last couple of years here. And once again, they're independently owned.
Well, let's dish. Let's talk about your favorite counter service.
Oh. Probably Comal 864, I think is super special. Not downtown, in the burgeoning Midtown.
I saw you there, right?
Yes, we bumped into each other there. I may have been delivering books there.
I think you might have been.
It is in the book.
This is the smallness of Greenville.
Yes. They have opened a new tequila bar. It's an additive-free tequila bar and really features a lot of female-made tequila, and it's called the Scorpion. So it is part of Comal 864, but it stays open later, more like a traditional bar at Comal. But your food at Comal, you're going to go up to the counter, and they're going to bring it out to you.
What's your favorite thing on the menu?
I mean, I think everybody would say the birria quesadilla tacos. However, I really love her breakfast items. I think her breakfast tacos are amazing. Also, on Saturday mornings, one of their bartenders, Casey, is doing Saturday morning cartoons. She's making cereal-themed cocktails and showing cartoons on the TVs.
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
And
if you could dream it, it will happen.
And I also love what the chef is doing for our community.
So she has a giant heart. She has done a community Thanksgiving meal and a community Christmas meal every year. It started one year when she was a brand new resident in Greenville, and I think 30 people showed up, and last year they had over 650.
I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah,
it's just
incredible.
And let's talk okay, fancy special occasion. You're coming here to visit. Maybe you're going to both.
Scoundrel. Go to Scoundrel.
I love
which I don't bring with the chef Joe Cash came from Per Se. So he worked for the Thomas Keller Group in Manhattan, but he grew up here and he returned here with his young family. He's like Jocelyn. They now have 2 children. The doc is spectacular. His Caesar salad is about to be in an upcoming magazine issue. His chocolate cake is his grandmother's cocoa powder layer cake recipe. He says it will never leave the menu and he will never change the recipe.
Oh, I love it.
There's a lot of date night dining though. So, I love sitting on the balcony at Gianna. I love going to, the Anchorage and doing a lot of farm to table or topsoil in Tractor's Rest. And I mean, as I'm saying these places, I'm literally e-bopping around the map of Greenville and its bedroom communities. There are a lot of special places to eat. I really love going Fork and Plow for brunch. I think it's hard to beat Fork and Plow's brunch.
And the races, they're incredible.
And I like you sit at the bar. Mm-hmm. They have a mimosa that they make this orange juice cube out of a bourbon cube size, and then they pour coglet over it. And if you get to the bottom, you still have orange juice cube left, they'll top you off a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, that presentation.
It's really fun. Chef Sean Pelly is a really, really solid chef. And my son worked for him last Christmas.
And they
ran food.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what I love about Fork and Plow is they change that menu up so often, isn't it? Twice a day?
Yes. I mean, their lunch and dinner menu is so different. And I mean, I think that feels special in the context of America's dining scene, that in Greenville, we are so farm driven that it's kind of to be expected as a diner here. We are at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And a lot of people don't know that if you go from Greenville to Asheville, you cross a escarpment. So at some point, the plate split and the land shifted, and that is why we have such an extreme elevation change from here to Asheville. So that escarpment is one of the only natural rainforests in the eastern part of the U.S. And because of it, we are sheltered by the escarpment, and we can grow almost anything 4 seasons a year. So the reason our restaurants are so farm-driven is because we are in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And we don't have to deal with this much now.
No. Asheville has ice. We have very pretty snow days
and vegetables and fish.
and vegetables. And your kids are only out of school like 2 or 3 days a year.
Right. I think we've gone like 3 years without like real snow.
I mean, I don't like real snow. Do you like real snow?
I like a snow day, but it's mostly so that we can have food and drink.
Yes. Go walk around, hang out with your neighbors.
Absolutely.
I mean, did you know your neighbors other places? I didn't. I know my neighbors here because it's Greenville.
Yeah. Well, we were kind of in that phase where we were rolling stones and trying to establish careers. And then when we got to Greenville, we put down roots and we didn't want, it was the first place that we didn't want to leave.
Oh, that's so funny. So we moved here for my job at the time, and about a year later, I was asked to transfer to either New York or Miami, which was always the plan. The plan was always like, we came from Atlanta, let's go to Greenville for a year or two, and then go to the next thing. And when the phone call came, we were like, you want to leave? Do you want to leave? I mean, we both changed jobs to stay.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Because this is this part, like, we don't have real traffic here. Like, I've lived in Miami before, and you'll go to Atlanta and Charlotte.
I came from Atlanta, and I grew out of Los Angeles.
That's real traffic. Los Angeles is real traffic.
Okay, how would you describe traffic? Okay, this is how you describe real traffic versus what we have. If you sit at a light and see it change through 3 rotations, that's real traffic.
Oh, I've never done that here.
I'll tell you a really funny story. I was in the car with my husband a couple of years ago, and he's like, what is all this traffic about today? And I look at him and I said, there were 4 cars in front of us at the red light. I mean, not to say that there's not an accident or a moment that you might go backed up a bit, but these maybe secondary and tertiary southern towns, they're still different. You can still find another route versus a lot of new build. I feel like there isn't. Right. As many ways, there's like one way to get somewhere.
I do love, we have several different ways. And can we talk about like just the food scene in general? You're the expert on that. As you Greg. Well, as far as I know, right? You're the expert on this channel.
Today I am.
Tell us about the good news and what is coming in November and really gonna. Yeah.
Do you want to start Michelin Monday?
Let's spill the tea, please.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Michelin Monday. So people talk about. I think you hear about someone winning a James Beard Award or getting a Michelin star. Well, Michelin is going to announce their first ever guide for the American South. It's going to be on November 3rd, and it involves lots of states. I don't know if I'm going to get this right. Let's see. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. I may have missed someone. Florida is not in it, and Texas is not in it, but they kind of put the rest of the South together, and they're going to have a Michelin guide, and the announcement is going to be here in Greenville at a big award ceremony at the East Summer. Well, it's huge when you think about the chefs that potentially could be coming. So, I mean, Emeril Lagasse and his son EJ most likely will be here from New Orleans, as would Soren Bay and Effie Richardson from Doc Arnola. They were just named the number 6 restaurant in North America at 50's Best. But we're going to see Charleston. We're going to see James London, I'm guessing here. This is me just guessing. I'm going to predict. How about this? I'm going to predict where you see James London from Chubby Fish in Charleston. I think we're going to see some Greenville restaurants on the stage.
Ooh, wouldn't that be cool?
That would be very exciting. So I have heard there is a Raleigh chef coming and an Asheville chef coming and a Nashville chef coming. I mean, big names. And a lot of them have never been to Greenville. So I think that's really exciting. I do not work for the Michelin Guide, so I need to say that. I will say that there is a rumor that Greenville will have the award ceremony for the next 3 years.
Wow.
Prior to this, Atlanta had the ceremony because there was an Atlanta guy. They're getting scooped up into the larger guy. But I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be Nashville or New Orleans. Those were my guesses. But no, it's in Greenville.
Well, the secret's getting out. And we don't have traffic like some of those other bills.
We also have a lot of hotels that you can walk to the V Center. So that makes it easier.
Yeah, I mean, I love our walkability here and just what we offer as far as quality of life.
Well, I'll tell you a funny recent story. So I have a teenage daughter, and for my husband's birthday, I bought the two of them tickets to go see the Lumineers at the Well at our concert venue. And it's only a quarter of a mile from our house. So I dropped them off on the way to a work center, and they walked home from seeing the Lumineers.
You cannot do that everywhere.
I cannot do that. It really is. We have some friends that live in a far burger market, and when we invite them to come visit us, they're like, "Oh, you want us to come to La La Land?" And I was like, "Okay, come to Pleasantville.
We'll be here." That's right. Enjoy your happy little lives with less traffic than yours.
It's true. It really is true.
Well, and that's a good segue into kind of like the next part of your book in music and entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Right? We talked about the Peace Center. We talked about the Bon Secours Wellness Arena where Diane just went to see the Lumineers. What else would you throw out to people who are considering a move to this area?
Well, I mean, it's great to say, oh, we went and saw a traveling headliner, but that's not the same as like your local music. And for really great local live music, I would 100% say Radio Room, which is in a former furniture store.
They got a new location, right?
So I love
Orange Road.
I love second gen businesses. We talk about second gen kitchens for restaurants, and we can talk about second gen venues for music. Anything that was a big giant box with high ceilings, really good acoustics. So Radio Room is where you're going to see those traveling up and coming bands. Maybe think of like really popular college bands that have, hit their stride and maybe are heading up. If you want local talent, Smiley's on the Rocks. You have to give Smiley's on the Rocks. On Monday is open mic. And then on Wednesday is a live band karaoke. I just had some friends in town from North Carolina, and we took them. Truly, they can make anybody sound good. You have a live band with backup singers and mic control.
I love it. I love it. And if you want to say you're from Greenville, you probably need a Smiley story.
Oh, I think that's absolutely true.
I bet you've got more than one Smiley story.
Or an albino scunfest story. Should we talk about albino scunfest?
Yeah.
I mean, that's super perky. This man who owns a farm about 10 miles outside the town was like, I have a field, we should have a music festival here. Well, now it's been over a decade. They host it twice a year. And some of the bands that have come through have really made it big, like that Give It Brothers played there in the early days.
Wow.
The Wood Brothers, Mandolin Orange. I mean, some really cool bands play there. And that's both fall and spring. And you can camp for the whole week.
I was going to ask, I thought, is that the one that you camp at?
You can camp if you want to, or you can just have a day pass. I mean, there's a lot of homegrown charm here that I think feels really special. And you couple that with the fact that all of my friends are from somewhere else. So you don't have that, oh, you have to have lived here for 5 generations to feel like you can be comfortable or let your hair down. Like, I have friends from Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. and San Francisco and Tipton, Georgia, So that's the part that I really like. It's like the size of a town with the people of a city.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
And one of the biggest things that started kind of the transformation, as we talked about the subway, to Sobeys, is the Greenville Drive Stadium, floor field, right?
Oh, sure.
If you talk about Greenville and how all of this has come together in a relatively short time span, I mean, 20 years ago, you just didn't go to that side of Greenville necessarily, right? It was a lumberyard.
I would say the Peace Center kicked off the revitalization of North Main, of what people who've been here for a while would call Main Street. But South Main was like no man's land. It just got real quiet again. So when we got our minor league team here, which is a Boston affiliate, I think that really just grew up South Main Street and really connected North Main and the traditional restaurants and businesses and hotels we think of along Main Street all the way over to Avesta, which, I mean, was perfect. It combines the downtown neighborhoods. It made us all feel like we were all downtown because we live in North Main. And then Avesta Road also has some really great dining and beautiful shopping. So I would say, also, sorry, I'm just jumping in.
I love it. We're giving people the scoop on Greenville.
The other end of Augusta Road is Rock House Antiques. And if you don't go Rock House Antiques, I have friends that literally drive to Greenville to go to Rock House Antiques. It's, I guess you would call it an antique mall, but really beautiful decor, fun antiques. They have a twice-a-year event called Shop the Lot that every booth puts out the stuff they want to have for sale. And it is, if you want to know where decorators and interior designers are buying the cool stuff, show up at Shop the Lot.
Love it.
Yeah, I knew that because I edited a home magazine here for so many years. And that was something that always came up. We would ask designers, like, what do you love about Greenville? And they'd be like, Shop the Lot.
See, she knows all the things. All the things. It's fun. That's why you need to get you a friend like Stephanie Burnette. So yeah, let's talk more about recreation.
Okay.
Right. So we've got the Greenville Drive. We covered that. We covered the Wellness Arena. We covered the Peace Center, Radio Room.
I love a table of contents. Yes, let's consult the. Well, we had floor feel on there, which is really fun. Let's talk about a couple of fun ones. So, have you been to the Par 3 golf course here?
Yes.
Isn't it fun?
Yes. I haven't been since they revamped the menu and got a new chef. But yes, I've been before.
Well, thank you for connecting it back to food for me. Let's see. I wanted to talk about it because it had a real redo from an investment group that included Justin Timberlake and ADM Golf.
He's bringing sexy back.
I guess so. There are 3 types of natural turf maintained there: Diamond Georgia, bent grass, and Tiff Eagle Bermuda. We say for the extra nerdy golfer, which is not me. But the Grub House has this celebrated smash burger. And the Remy's Devour Power on TikTok came and blew them up. They had 2 million followers.
Wow.
And they went and talked about the smash burger. So it was a really big deal. Also, if you're a hobby golfer, a Par 3 is perfect.
It's not intimidating. It's lovely. You can walk it.
It's so cute.
I think, and they're open at night. They have lights. So that's fun too.
It's fantastic. You know what I want to mention? I think it's a little bit of hidden gem. And it's great for when you have kids in that age group that they don't like go to like your neighborhood park, but they still want to play outside. Have you been to Fritz Klotz Park?
Yes. I've got 2 young kids, so yeah, I love it. I love it.
Much fun. So Fritz Klotz Park has beautiful soccer fields, an amazing walking path. It's very close to the State Farmers Market, which I think is an absolute gem. But their play structures are big and tall. It has super scary slides.
Yes.
And they're really great for that, like, adventurous 7-year-old, but easily up to a tween. And they also had restrooms, covered shade area, parking.
I was going to park it.
And tables. So, you know, when you have, also if you're a grandparent, I did a little book event recently and someone said, can you write an entire book about what to do with your grandkids? And I was like, no. But
that chapter is coming. Your kids are just going to college. That book is coming.
But that's what I think of is when you have multi-generations, right? You all want to spend part of a day together. What are you going to go do? Well, there's a walking path that grandma might want to walk around. And there's like the smaller playground that you can push a toddler on a really safe swing. But then you've also got spot for an older kid to have a really good time and burn some energy.
Yeah, my kids like Conisty Park as well.
Oh, Conisty is great. And the walkways. And they've got like a new playground.
Conisty's definitely got the more nature feel.
Yes, I agree. Also, the Greenville County Parks and Rec, shout out to them. We have ridiculous big parks, neighborhood parks, pocket parks, and then, you know, this little thing called Swamp Rapid Trail.
Right. And of course, our massive new park, it's still relatively new, is Unity Park.
And the Unity Tower.
Unity Tower's not even open yet, but it's getting close.
It's real. I think the ribbon cutting is very soon. But it goes back to 4 seasons of mild weather. Even in the winter, you might have some layers on, but
Isn't it something like we have over 230 days of sunshine every day?
there is no gloom here.
No.
I grew up in Southern California, and a lot of people go on vacation. They think of going to California in June. And if you're from California, there's June gloom.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it gets very overcast and not very warm in June in Southern California.
I mean, how many neighbors do you think that we have that don't even own a snow shovel?
I don't own a snow shovel.
Right. I have one because, once upon a time when I was new, I felt like I should have one just in case. But I've never used it.
I also have an ice scraper in the back of my car that rattles around that I curse at least once a month.
Oh, yeah. I've got
because I don't use it.
Again, just in case.
No, but I do love that it's chilly enough to put the kids in a cute coat to go see Santa at the farmer's market. And Easter, your daughter is in her Easter dress. We are appropriately seasonal, and that's what I enjoy. Because I came from California where everything is a pretty mild one season. And then I remember my dad growing up in Massachusetts, and he would say, we might have smog in LA, but at least I don't have to shovel it. So, I think I found the perfect crossroads of, you get to really face home here.
I think our biggest recreation tool, if you will, is the gym that is the Swamp Rabbit Trail. I mean, it can just take you to so many places.
Yeah, so that's our urban rail trail that you can walk on, you can bike on. They just keep expanding it. Ty Hauk at Greenville County Carson Rec has done an incredible job expanding it, and we've won a gajillion awards for it. I think the best spot to get on, you may disagree with me though, because people like to argue their favorite spot to get on the trail. I think getting on at the Children's Garden, the Secret Garden, is the best spot to get on.
Okay. So that's coming off of 10th Street, Island and Cello?
Yes, the underpass.
So I like that place as well. But now going back to parking, my little secret spot is Cancer Survivors Park.
Oh,
that's my favorite place to get back to really great. If I'm meeting a friend and we're going to walk and we're driving there to just kind of catch up.
But if you want to go back to eating or ice creaming, in TR, you could park near Topsoil and the ice cream shop's up there and start there.
What I love about the Swamp Rabbit Trail is, yes, it's for people who are really fit and you'll see them in their professional biking outfits.
Yes.
But you'll see a lot of people walking or jogging or little kids, with the training wheels. But just in case you're new at all of this biking and exercising stuff, there are breweries along the trail, taco places, ice cream. You're not going to go hungry in case you need to sit and sip. Because here in the South, we like to sit and sip.
Oh, we do like to sit and sip. I also feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Swamp Rabbit Grocery.
Absolutely.
So it was there from day one, Swamp Rabbit Grocery and Cafe and the Swamp Rabbit Trail. And it's
the ladies who own that grocery store.
Okay, so
they're visionaries.
Mary and Jack wanted a place to buy more local goods, local foods. And so they were like, well, we don't know where that is, so let's make it ourselves.
And the Stecca bread.
Life
changing.
It's so good. And the sandwiches and the coffee and the pastry and all the local purveyors that they sell. You can get your naked pasta there. There's just so much. It's so cute.
And the farmer's market downtown.
Oh, goodbye. So I was doing a book event and I was telling this group of people that Saturday Market, which is our farmer's market, started out with 4 tents, 4 tables on Court Street, not on Main Street. And the Greenville News used to hand you a free paper if they could take a picture of you sitting and reading it.
Right.
Now it's a top 25 national farmers market.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew it was incredible, but I didn't.
It goes across 3 city blocks and has 100 purveyors. And now the purveyors don't even get to be there every Saturday. They have to rotate.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let me tell you a funny story.
Yes.
So my family and we go to the farmer's market as often as we can with the best of intentions. With the best of intentions. We are going there to be healthy That's why we're going here. But we tend to end up with more carbs, than vegetables because we've got to have cinnamon rolls. We've got to have stecker bread. We have to go see our friends at Naked Pasta.
Yeah.
That's have a latte. Oh yes, and flowers.
Flowers.
And more pasta sauce.
I made sassafras. I love Sarah from Sassafras. She is often there. Another great place to buy local flowers, though, is the Nested Fig.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I was actually there yesterday. I picked up
Were you?
a bouquet for a friend who had a procedure, and they're decorated for Christmas.
Well, their flower farm is called Petal Pickers.
I love them.
Yeah, so that's Daniel. And then Daniel's husband, Wes, does the Nested Fig, the plant store, and the furniture store with his best friend, Stephen Mark. I don't know if you've ever noticed, though, Instagram, they have like 100,000 followers.
Wow. I do follow Daniel on the Instagram because I fancy myself out here home gardener.
Yeah, Pebble Pickers is the flower farm, and then Nested Fig are the two stores.
I love his peonies.
His peonies are one of my neighbors, one of our neighbors, we live on the same street, Jan Hubble,
Yes.
bought his dahlia tubers,
Uh-huh.
and her yard looked banging this year.
Well, we're probably going to have to start a Yard of the Month club.
She'll just win it every
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Jan, she and Joyce Murphy can like just pass the sign back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I would love it. I would love it. All right. Let's merge into the next section of the book about culture and history.
Oh, okay. Yay.
So we're going to take a break from all of our wine.
Oh, well, yeah, you have to like go like massage your brain and like walk around and do something after you eaten a bunch. I think something that's not super obvious, like our waterfalls are pretty spectacular.
Pretty spectacular.
We also have the largest, or is it largest or longest, pedestrian suspension bridge? I think it's the longest.
We'll go with that. Okay. You're the expert.
Yeah.
And on this channel, whatever you say goes.
And we should just look it up in the book. We'll find out later and get back to you. But there's another bridge that's so super special right here. It's called the Poinsett Bridge. Have you been?
I don't think so. I'm more of the suspension bridge, even though I get a little nervous.
Yeah.
But that leads to the Grand Bohemian, and that is a beautiful walk.
Or like we all want to go spend more time at the Grand Bovo.
Oh, you do feel like you're on vacation when you're there because it's just so different.
It is stunning. Well, the Poinsett Bridge, I think, is the precursor to our Liberty Bridge. It is the oldest bridge in South Carolina that you can still traverse. It is dry stone stack. It was designed by Robert Mills, who also designed the Washington Monument. It has a Gothic arch over Little Gap Creek, and it is, I've not been there. So it's up by Camp Old Indian on Highway 11.
Okay.
There are amazing hiking trails up there, but what's so special is if you hold on. It's my favorite spot to take a picture or to take a selfie at. This is beautiful. What I was going to say is it's purported to be lucky to be kissed under the Gothic arch. The Poinsett Bridge.
What do you get?
I don't know.
A lifetime of happiness?
Yes, lots of romances.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
I can't get to track my husband after 20 years.
Today's bridge. Cha, cha, cha. The thing I will tell you about that there is it's a little bit off the beaten path and not great Wi-Fi up there. So pull your map up ahead of time.
Yeah, that Devil's Fork Road.
Yes, there's a little parking lot right across the street. You kind of walk across, and it's beautiful in every season. You're not going to believe how cute it is. It usually lands on one of my either most romantic lists or Valentine's Day, like day dates.
Oh, we'll have to do more episodes.
Yeah.
I should live. Yeah.
We could talk about day dates all the time because that's really fun.
Absolutely. For somebody who's thinking about moving here, what would you want them to know about like our history? The quick Cliff Notes version. They can get the full story in the book, but
yes, no, the quick short history is that Greenville's not very old. Travelers Rest is actually much older than us, and that's, only 20 minutes away. But Greenville's rise happened during textile boom in really the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s. So we were an outlier community of Charleston, if you can believe it. Like, we complain that it's buggy in August.
Well, nothing compared to Charleston.
Charleston elite used to come to Greenville to escape the mosquitoes. So there were some homes here, but really Greenville as a town did not occur until the textile mills came. So that's why you hear a lot about our textile industry. There are textile ruins down at the May River. You get to see lots of cool foundations from prior factories. It's also why we don't put our bare feet into the Reed River.
Don't eat anything that comes out of the Reed River.
No. They're still trying to get that cleaned up. But very pretty. But yeah, we're a kind of young town. I find it interesting that in 100 years, they're going to talk about the golden age of Greenville was now. And we're going to be the history. Because it's the revitalization that happened since 1995 until 2025 that's really made it what's so special. Yes, it was an adorable, town in the early 20s. Yes, it definitely had a lot of commerce after World War II. But then you talk about the livability of Greenville, it's now. We're living it.
And then we've also got the historic neighborhoods near downtown.
Yeah.
There's like 7 or 8. We happen to live in what I will call the best historic neighborhood, but there are several, and they're all lovely. I say that tongue in cheek because I'm here with
But lots of 1920s architecture, lots of brick, lots of tapestry brick, lots of federal style homes, which is very great. Lots of traditional Southern architecture, which people really love. And they really stand the test of time. These are well-built homes that are easy to add onto and have a lot of great curb appeal. If you love neighborhoods in like Richmond, Virginia, or in like the Fan in Richmond, Virginia, or Virginia Highlands in Atlanta, you're gonna like the stylings of Greenville. There's also a big housing boom after World War II. So we have a lot of salt box and cottage architecture that I think has been well maintained and is really, really cute.
I personally love the wavy glass. The wavy glass that you'll see. And we've got the city in these historic neighborhoods protect stuff like that.
We always dad is when your kids are super into baseball and soccer and balls go straight through it. And then you have to go source the wavy glass to try to fake what was once there. Not speaking from personal experience.
Fun fact, I have extra windows in my basement because I have a little boy who was 3 weeks old when we bought our house, and I was like, ooh, I feel like those windows need to stay right there. And there's only like 1 or 2 people in town that can fix the rope pulley of the windows.
Yes. It is, it's funny. Actually, my daughter's bedroom is part of our home that was once sleeping porch that at some point was enclosed. So I love living in old houses. We call my house, we call her Old Creaky Leggy. And Freddie, we are super good with that. That, all houses need maintenance. Mm-hmm. And so, you roll with it.
It's a labor of love having an older home.
I love living on the street, the sidewalks. And I think Greenville has a lot of that. And I also think that's why I've noticed so many of my neighbors is because when you have sidewalks, people get out and walk their dogs and push a stroller. And, you meet people.
Yeah, I do. I think the key to getting to know your neighbors is to having a dog. Because Greenville is so dog friendly. And then you walk up and down the street and
my dog would kid or a sidewalk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I had a question for you. Yes. What is not easy to do in Greenville? I'm setting you up here because I actually thought of the question ahead of time. I'll have an answer, but
what is not easy to do in Greenville?
Yeah. We were talking about all the great things about Greenville. When's something that's not as easy in Greenville that might be easy somewhere else?
I mean, probably public transit.
I mean,
I would say that's top of mind. Like when I think of like those big cities. But take me where you're available.
Well, no, but city council, we want you to figure out this public transportation. We would like more public transportation here.
We have a very sweet trolley.
We do have a very sweet trolley.
I thought I'd try to put a positive spin on. I love our trolley.
And like New Orleans, it's cute to get on, but it doesn't get you anywhere efficiently.
Not that. No, this is about a romantic journey.
Yeah.
There.
Yes. And I think we checks a lot of romantic boxes. I agree. Oh, what I was thinking about, okay, well, there's some of the upsides. So what are some of the downsides? Mm-hmm. I openly won't go to certain grocery stores if I don't have the time because you fall into someone.
Okay. Okay, that's where you go.
If you like, I just need two things and I've got to do it fast. I can't go to McBee, which is what we call the Publix downtown. I can't go to
Harris Teeter.
either or Harris Teeter.
No way could you go to the Harris.
No, because half our neighborhoods are at the Teeter Tavern drinking like $6 glasses of Pinot Noir. You can't go to Whole Foods. You'll definitely bump into somebody you know at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's.
And you need the whole paycheck at Whole Foods.
Don't forget, it's true. So it is so funny though, when I was thinking about what's tough about Greenville, like I literally am like, I'm in my sweats, I'm not going to brush my hair, and I need three things. Where am I going? I mean, I will drive significantly out of my way.
See, this is when you send one of the children or your husband for the things.
It's true.
I wish. Mine aren't old enough to drive yet.
But I grew up in California that when you were checking out, like the person talked to you, it's because like something was wrong. And I remember when I moved here, they're like, "Did you find anything you need?" "Uh-huh. Yeah." And then they're like, "Was everything okay? How are you today? What's going on?" And I'm like,
Why are they talking to me? They want to make a connection with you.
I know. And then when I had little kids, it was really nice because sometimes, you know, we have babies, like, you're like, I'll go to the grocery store and stand in line for my favorite person.
Right, right.
I need an adult to talk to.
Right. Hey, it is good. Yes, those were some years, right?
It's hard to go somewhere in Greenville after you've lived here a little bit and not bump into somebody you know, though. Don't you agree?
Yes. And you know what I'm finding now is my children know people, places you go. And so they'll be like, "Oh, you're Sloan's mom," or "Oh, you're Dalton's." And I'm like, that's who I am now, Sloan's secretary. And so
Yes, you are.
my husband gets a kick out of it. He's like, "So I'm going to get pizza, and the hostess knows our son." And I'm like, really? Really? So that happens all the time. So like even the kids, you know, they go to schools and camps and have their, you know, their extracurricular activity. Yes, we, as a family, we can't go anywhere without one of the four of us knowing something.
Yeah, I don't know if are we a big small town or are we a small big town?
Ooh,
Which one would you vote for?
I'm not glass half full kind of girl.
Oh, me too. Okay. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I love what we had here, and I'm hooked for life.
I also like, though, how convenient we can get to other places. Because when you do need or want that like, I want to go to an NFL game. You know, I want to go to the beach. Like, we don't have NFL teams. We don't have beaches. But it doesn't take us that long.
That would have been a good guess for the question you asked me a few minutes ago. I posted, they made sure, yeah. Anyway.
But, you know, 3 hours to Charleston, hour and a half to Charlotte.
All the things.
Yeah.
Let's segue into the next section of your book, the final section of your book, shopping and fashion in Greenville.
Okay.
Ooh, tell me your things.
Okay, so we have a lot of cute boutiques. All you'll do is walk up and down Main Street and you'll find 1,000 boutiques that you will really enjoy. And then we also have the things like we have a really nice size Anthropologie. Mm-hmm. You know, we have a Madewell now.
And the Anthropologie is relatively new as far as like Greenville's growth, right? I said that every year.
You look at it right if you must said it. But like, I also love like So Super Unique. And two things, totally different opposite ends of the spectrum. If you had teenagers, they're really into vintage clothes. Or if you happen to be in your 20s, that might be something that you garner and go after. Old School is on Main Street. It's in the same building as Giorgio's. And
oh, I do like Giorgio's.
They are like experts at vintage. They know what everything is. It's tags, it's research. They sell all the sneakers, all the t-shirts, all the sports memorabilia. Old School, like if you are into upcycle vintage, it's on your bucket list in the Southeast, and it's right here on Main Street in Greenville, South Carolina. So I think a lot of people think of us as like, oh, it's so cute for people in their 40s to live. No. We have the 18 to 25 girls coming to Greenville, South Carolina to their Old School.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But from super cutie patootie stuff that you and I might like, there's this little thing called Wilson Girls. Yeah. So G. Wilson Freeman and Kathleen C., they're sisters. They're both artists and makers, and they have
so fun.
Okay, so pop-up 3 times in the fall. I hope I get this right, and 3 times in the spring. Follow them on Wilson Girls.
There's definitely one that's always before Halloween, and then
Yes,
and then
it's actually this week. There's September, October, and November, and then there's 3 right in the spring. But it is a pop-up of curated interior goods, art, food, local books, but also vintage and antiques that they pick. And it is styled in just the most whimsical way. You cannot go to Wilson Girls and not be happy. Their blue and white awning alone is precious. They're very close to Unity Park, and it's in a second generation retail store. It had been like a corner store or a liquor store at one point. It is precious. I don't believe they've been in Garden and Gun or Southern Living, but it would not surprise me to see them there.
oh, well, they're lovely. And when you talk about Wilson Girls, like I really do think that that's part of the fabric of our community and what makes it so special.
And they are local girls. They grew up here. So they have a third sister named Sarah that I'm certain wants nothing to do with their little pop-up shop. But they're a really great family that I've known for a long time. Several of the kids were my kids' age, so I've known them for a while, but I love how they're exploding right now. And even just the heavenly scents. They have their own candle. They carry other unique candles. I mean, if you need a unique gift for someone special, I mean, you got to schedule it. It's a pop-up, but still. I went to their first pop-up this season and legitimately knocked out like over half my Christmas list.
Good for you.
Yeah, I know.
Good for you.
You need to jump on it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for being here. And for you guys watching the video, this is 100 Things to Do in Greenville Before You Die. Emphasis on before you die. Stephanie's going to give me the link and we'll put it in one of the comments. That way you can buy the video. If you use me to buy a house, this will be like in your little gift basket. Just saying,
I'll autograph it.
yeah, thank you for putting this together. And I
Bought a green pen to autograph.
Oh,
Because we're in Greenville.
I love that.
Here's I'll tell you one last really funny story.
Yes.
They showed me the cover of the book, and it wasn't green.
Well, I'm glad they listened, friend.
It was the Monday Monday ever. I was like, hey, I love it. It looks fantastic. Do you think we could change it to green?
I get it. I mean, I feel like that was a helpful hint. I'm glad that they listened.
Yeah, I was appreciative.
I think that this is just such a great idea, Stephanie, and saying
Thank you.
Thank you for making a bucket list for all of us to take part in.
Well, and hopefully in a couple of years, we'll get to put a bunch more additions in.
That's right. We're going to have to as fast as everything's changing.
Oh my gosh, maybe they'll let me have it be 200 things to do in Greenville.
Yes. Perfect. Well, buckle up, and we will see you on the next video.